Yo,
I think this works now. So, back to the Eldred screen. No, no, so just gotta share my screen, just just so you know what's going on. Where was
thank you.
uh, but yeah, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to it, Exalted Scarfs Cast number 41. The new lockdown.
Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, my co-host wasn't around for like the official 9/11 20th anniversary stream, but oh well, it's like, what do you gotta do? Life happens. And then something else tragic happened that was apparently akin to 9/11 in terms of the amount of coverage it got.
Yeah.
The passing of Norm MacDonald.
Oh, damn it. Dear Lord, that just kills me. Because speaking as like a guy who's a big fan of comedians and comedy, Norm was one of the best.
Yeah, yeah, he was. He was the guy
Uh,
who just didn't give a shit about what offended you. In fact, it was almost better. It was like when he started offending people with his jokes, because then they became part of the joke.
well, not necessarily like he had to like offend everyone. But my
But
God, the guy was just
he,
ooh.
he
He knew what worked
yeah,
sometimes.
he just knew what worked. I mean, I still remember the whole interview that he had on The View, where it just he just kept calling Clinton a murderer, and it just made everyone uncomfortable. And then there was that other joke that he had about Hitler.
Mhm.
It was like, you know, let's go to Germany, you and I, a suicide mission. Let's go kill this Hitler guy. But he like died like 30 years ago. Really? I didn't know he was sick.
Mhm. Yeah, no.
That's what made it so funny. It's like he took. It's like his jokes were like it had that sort of like char- character about it.
Yeah. No, like with my thing, I've been watching a lot of just his old stand up because of what's been happening. So, and I'm also just trying to track down a bunch of stuff. Like, oh God, his Fantastic Four bit is amazing.
Oh yeah.
Like, seriously, one of the best jokes of like, and I'm gonna call myself Mister Fantastic. It just, it kills me. It
Yeah.
kills me on the inside.
Thing is,
Just,
we didn't even know he was dying of cancer. He never brought it up once. I mean, and you just
he
know
might
that.
have brought it up in like obscure live streams apparently, because I'm like looking at like some things of him talking about cancer. But the guy had it for 9 years.
I think he mainly hinted at it with jokes. It's like, well, they say that he lost his battle with cancer, but if the man dies, the cancer dies too. So really, it's just a draw.
Probably, like I could easily see that. Um, have you seen his? Have you seen him at the YouTube? You should see him at the YouTube performance where basically it was like this YouTube comedy thing, and it was like 5 years ago. And oh my God, the guy's just roasting people.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, if anything, this guy should be remembered for all the good times that we've had while he was still alive, while he was making jokes.
Uh, yes, of course. He's one of the best guys. Like, I don't know. Like some people, of course, started controversy about him because he's a celebrity who died. and it's like now some people are gonna shit on him to get attention, blah blah blah, and I don't know, like he
Well,
was
let's
just such
face
a
it, it's like a lot of stuff celebrities do nowadays is just fake.
oh god. Honestly, if you want to listen to a good thing on Norm, uh, as weird as it is, you want to know who I would recommend looking up on YouTube?
Who?
Bob Saget.
Oh yeah, the roast of Bob Saget. I remember those.
No, no, no. Bob Saget actually posted himself his own like little YouTube thing talking
Yeah.
about Norm, and I would actually recommend it. He has a great story about Norm and Bill Cosby in there,
everyone
where
has
he lo- I
everyone
need
has their Bill Cosby jokes.
it. Well, no. Here's the thing: it's a Bill Cosby story, and it's not what you would expect. I would say watch it just because I'd rather not spoil what's going on in
Yeah.
that. Um, but no, like I'm gonna probably try and watch his movie later this week. The one directed by Bob Saget actually
Yeah.
work sometime. I'm also just catching up on various animated appearances. Like I actually ended up watching The Fairly Odd Parents again just for his role in that show.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like every time I think about Norm Macdonald now, it's like I just think of one of his jokes and I just end up laughing.
Honestly, his sense of humor was pretty good for one reason is that a lot of it ended up getting under your skin and it just stays there simmering. Just an immense talent of a creator.
It's like I
Like,
was crawling through blood and bones to find my brother at Ground Zero of the Twin Towers. He was in Canada at the time. It's like what the. It's. I know I'm butchering some of his jokes, but it's like it's just the punchlines is like are hilarious. But I
yeah,
mostly know a lot of his jokes just like from watching the Razorfist streams because it's like he always does Norm Macdonald references or there's like Norm Macdonald super chats. So that was my first exposure to Norm Macdonald. It's like, oh, let's take a look deeper into this guy because he sounds kind of hilarious.
yeah.
But yeah, it's like, ugh. Now that I finally managed to put my granddad into the tomb yesterday, at least I know he's got some good company in the afterlife.
Oh, oh, you went to your grandfather's funeral yesterday?
Yeah, it was supposed to be last year, but couldn't do it because of the damn lockdowns.
Um, I can relate to that. I'm going to a funeral later in October for my uncle Jimmy. Um, which is
Better do it
happening
while you can.
essentially at this point. Hell, dude, I haven't seen my extended family since before the lockdown.
Yeah,
So, uh, but
but
it is what it is.
yeah, and much like
So,
many other tragedies, it isn't long before the major restrictions start kicking in. Now, we touched on this
yeah,
last time. China
uh,
bans sissy boy bands reality talent shows as cultural crackdown continues.
yes.
First the games, now the boy bands.
Eventually, I just think China's just gonna ban fun.
Eventually, yeah. Now, video
By
games.
that I mean the band fun with their hit "I Forget." No, I literally forgot what song they liked, but I did like it when I heard it.
Yes. We're gonna start cracking Norm Macdonald jokes throughout this stream, aren't we? But yeah, it's like we also touched on the fact that they were banning restricting video games among minors to about 3 hours on weekends only, which Okay, knowing the kinds of games that come from China, I kind of get that part because they specifically make those games to be addictive and not fun. I mean, think gotcha games or clicker games where it's like the only stimulation you get is watching a bar fill up and then loot box drop down and actually reveal some random item that might make your bar fill up faster or slower depending on the circumstances. But the way they make their money is that you spend real world cash to get more of these loot boxes and a random chance at a benefit.
Mm. Well, we have to feed our addictive gambling urges somehow, man.
I mean, this is like, and that's the only time where I will actually concede to a particular type of gameplay as just being addictive. Because it's like, it's not really fun, but people keep playing it and they just don't know why. And it's because it was scientifically, there have been scientific studies made on stuff like that to actually tug on that nerve stream to actually get you to keep going. It's like it's like heroin. Yeah, the CCP wants soldiers like how they are depicted in the USSR posters. Yet they are just Russian soldiers with Asian heads copied on top of them. Wait, what? Asian? They are just Russian soldiers with Asian heads copied on top. You mean they've actually used video effects to put Asian heads on top of a Russian propaganda ad?
Wouldn't shock me. I've seen weirder. That's why we have deep fakes.
Yeah, deepfakes are getting better nowadays. It's actually kind of scary. But geez, like, I wonder why they would want soldiers so much. I mean, couldn't have anything to do with a particular world leader showing that he's a little squeamish about committing to warfare and possibly under the having a few allies that China wants to take over that were under his protection. Yeah. Yeah, Asian games tend to have gambling elements in them because Asian countries like China and Korea have strict laws. Boys. And what are those laws? Laws against fun? Laws against creativity? Laws against, actual challenge? That's the other thing that I always never quite got about those games. It's like there was never any challenge. It was just work.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's as challenging as figuring out that OJ killed his wife.
Yeah, it's about that challenging. Ugh. Yeah, I keep hearing that Norm got kicked off of SNL because he kept doing that joke.
Yes. What happened was to explain was this. He kept on making jokes about it in his thing, and they kept telling him to stop. Because here's the thing: one of the producers was actually friends with O.J. Simpson.
Ah, yeah. Yeah, and Korean gambling is straight up banned, similar to China. Yeah, and keep in mind, it's like those gameplay elements are like they've gone into Western gaming culture. I mean, just look at
Yes.
what's been happening to our first person shooter games. I mean, we have literal loot boxes in Call of Duty now and Star Wars Battlefront. Oh, yeah. And the and that kind of leveling up system is very eerily similar to the kind of stuff you see in clicker games. It's like you're just working to see a bar fill up, guys.
Mhm.
And what do you get at the end of that bar? Oh, another box where you could actually get something random that may or may not help you.
Yeah. Yeah, like the thing is about it at this point is right now we're just kind of dealing with this, and this is just how the games are making money nowadays.
Yeah, and oh my god, and I haven't even gotten into the whole like sissy boy thing and how that's affecting things, considering that it's like that's pretty much most of Hollywood where they like
We
their effeminate
to tell you the
guys.
truth, to tell you the truth, this is kind of hard to tell how it will affect China going forward because we're not sure what's going to get banned. Essentially, like we know boy bands are. We're at this point. It's like
It's
who
gonna be
knows what's.
it's gonna be funny if the only macho stuff we ever get is from China now.
God,
Yeah,
that would be so weird.
yeah, it'd be like the freaking Bizarro world.
Hmm.
It's like, why are we getting all this base stuff from China? Yeah, gotcha games are huge in Asia because they are the closest thing to real gambling people can get. Yeah, I get that. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, in fact, I would say it's like you could almost tell a lot about a country just from like the kind of games they make. I mean, you get a lot of the you get a lot of those like repetitive cell phone games out of China. What is this? Like the Koreans have their like MMO games constantly, and you always get your first-person shooters out of America, out of American companies, and then you get like a lot of, I guess, a lot of your Western RPGs tend to come from um, what is it? Somewhere like France or something like that. Actually, I might be
Yeah.
thinking of very old old gaming companies. I'm like going back into Psygnosis days.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I know it's like Japan's well known for like their beat 'em up games and their very arcadey style games. It's like, and I know places in South America are making video games now. I've played some of them, except they're very much still in that indie cobbled together mode at this rate. But yeah, it's like, but from what I've heard, yeah, China's like going into their yeah, Wakfu is a French RPG and amazing. Season 4 is coming. Oh yeah, Wakfu.
Mm. Wakfu was a good show. Um, but honestly, with everything
Oh
going
yeah,
on,
I
it's
also
just
remember a lot of adventure games were coming from like Europe back in the
yeah.
day.
Oh, very.
But yeah, it's like I from what I've heard, China, I mean, they go through various phases where it's like they let up a bit every once in a while just to let their economy grow. But once it grows up to a certain point, they go into a crackdown phase just so that they don't start getting ideas and start
Yeah.
forming like separate parties.
Basically, like with everything going on right now, it's just I'm just like at this point, China's just gonna China. As much as I find it interesting to talk about them right now, it's just like eh, eh,
I mean, without
eh.
sissy boy bands and pop stars, I mean, it's like what are the young teen girls gonna gush over?
Love.
I mean, it's like that's the other thing, other tragedy. You're never gonna get a David Bowie in Japan or in China. You're never gonna get a David Bowie in China. You'll certainly get one out of Japan. They they love their effeminate characters.
Yeah.
Now I'm trying to imagine what a Chinese Rambo would look like.
What happens with Chinese Rambo is that it's just a regular Chinese dude shooting out guys who look like Rambo. Just like
But would he
hordes and
be big
hordes.
and muscular like Rambo?
Basically, look, we have to prove that Chinese dudes are better than Rambo. I don't know.
we
Like
have to
basically,
we have to prove that they're better than the filthy. round eyes or something.
We have to prove they're better than the Sylvester Stallones with their chins.
Well, but yeah, speaking of restricting like sissy material, turns out Blizzard is trying to make amends for their Chinese Rambo is any John Woo film. You know what? That's a good point right there.
That's actually fair. Hold it. Um, hold it. Uh, WoW is Blizzard's making up for trying to make up for basically everything.
Yeah, they're making up for like their sexual improprieties of like objectifying women by turning women into literal objects in their
Hold it.
paintings in their World of Warcraft game.
Well, they're turning them into a bunch of fruit.
Yes, literal objects.
Yes,
Yes,
a bunch of.
it's like we we apologize for objectifying women, so in order to make amends for that, we're going to turn our women into literal objects. Although I do have to admit, she now has a nice pair of oranges.
They're very round and symmetrical.
Yeah. So ultimately, the changes are coming in Blizzard already. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, this one they just basically made the painting a lot more modest. They actually gave the girl an undershirt and a breast reduction and no makeup. Yeah. So yeah, we can expect more desexualizing material out of Blizzard at this point in their games because it's got to keep going after that whole controversy that they've been going through. Especially since I suspect that most of it's really just a takeover.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, look, it's at this point. At this point, they have to do like a lot of things to try and protect themselves. So it kind of just is what it is.
But one thing they cannot undo is all the source filmmaker porn that was made out of their World of Warcraft character models.
Yeah. Plus, they can't save O.J. Simpson's wife.
Ah, man.
I know,
What a
right?
tragedy.
I know. But with that said, like,
It was it was it was a worse tragedy since that other thing
so
that happened in September.
too bad they can't reveal that O.J. Simpson's wife was gay
Or trans. Maybe
or
that's
black.
maybe that's why he
Or,
killed her. She happened to have a penis and he just didn't want anyone else to know.
see, we're solving the mystery of O.J. Simpson. I, that's terrible. You're terrible.
Yeah. But yeah, while Blizzard's doing their crackdown on, well, the female body, there's been quite the crackdown over in Australia, and I believe the people over there are taking it quite well. Or not.
Why?
Oh boy. I knew things
Uh,
were bad when I heard that they were shooting dogs over there. I'm like, is this the same scene, same thing as that scene from Chernobyl? Whereas like they were afraid that the dogs would spread radiation or something. Except this time they might be spreading like a particular disease. But yeah, they are locking down hard over there. It's almost like they're in competition with China, except they're what, a year late on this one?
yeah,
It's like, guys, it's a bit late to be nailing people into their doors at this rate. But yeah, they've been like arresting people for just like being out alone and on the beach at night. It's like past a curfew because we all know uh, diseases only come out at night, and they are also and they've also been beating up on people for not wearing masks. It's like okay, understandable. It's like if they're not wearing a mask, they're probably spreading the disease, which makes them a threat. we now have to live under that mentality, and the people are just like getting so irritated at this that they've started rioting over there. So yeah, it's. I mean, I get it. You want to protect yourselves from this new Delta variant, but when you're practically at war with your own population, something has gone terribly wrong here.
Yes.
It's it's crazy. Not to mention, it's like the. I mean, from what I remember, it's like didn't this disease like jump off from an animal too?
Bats, yes.
Yeah, so it's like technically this thing affects animals. So it's like those things are carriers too. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it has gotten wild over there.
Yeah. Right now we're just living with what it is. But Australia is,
It's
but
almost
I
like
will say,
it's almost like they've embraced the fact that their origins of being a prison colony.
now they're just imprisoning their own population again. Damn it. Is
But yeah, that was just a thing that happened. I I just mainly wanted to touch on the fact like it's gotten so bad over there that's like they shot up a bunch of dogs for some reason
mm-hmm.
because they didn't want people to adopt them because like the dogs might be infected or I forgot what it was because it was a while ago. I was meaning to talk about it, but we have been on hiatus.
Yeah, life has kind of kicked me in the ass.
Yeah, me too in some cases. Although it's good to see that Joe Rogan's still alive.
Yes.
Where apparently it's like, uh, actually I don't even know if you really want to get into this, but yeah, he apparently got COVID and then he kind of stopped having COVID, and then that led to a major complication, major controversy over like the type of medicine he was using, which I will not name, but Joe Rogan does assure us that it was prescribed to him from his doctor. But now everyone's saying that it's some kind of like horse dewormer for parasites or some shit. It's like, but it was prescribed to him from his doctor. So here's the question: It's like, is he lying about what his doctor prescribed to him, or did his doctor lie to him? But yeah, that you want to say something about that?
Well, it. I don't know at this point.
Yeah. So yeah, now he's getting like a lot of heat from the media, but
Mm-hmm.
not as much as somebody else that we're gonna get to.
Well, I guess it's about time we tell.
But
I guess it's time we talk about the
but
Miss.
but wait, let's just enjoy celebrities in general. Having fun
Oh
while the
God.
rest of us
I-
are having fun while the rest of us are told to stay home and stay safe. Wearing dresses that look like they need to be flipped on an egg fryer.
Don't remind me of the fucking Met Gala, man. This is. I hate events like these.
I know, right? I'm like, it's the one event where it's like rich people can wear impractical clothing that take
I
up an
feel.
entire room. And it
I
looks like
feel.
some and people are already making comparisons to the Hunger Games. It's like those people in the rich part of society.
I hate saying it, but I think the Hunger Games deliberately based itself after the Met Gala.
I know, right? It's like it's just
Is this
weird.
embarrassing?
Some of it just looks like cosplay. I mean, look at this guy. He looks like he's just doing a C-3PO cosplay
Um,
without the helmet.
somebody, I actually think somebody made a good comparison with Saint Seiya.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he looks like one of the Gold Knights.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that's what he was going for. He was trying to be like this royal gold knight figure, which,
yeah, but
sorry,
well, one of the
pal,
gold,
you cannot top Jamie Lannister.
but like the thing about the Met Gala is it's just like everybody just looks lame.
It
Like I know they
does.
want to try and look cool, but my God, I like going to cosplay things because I'm like, yeah, you were able to find a way to pull out this fucking costume, but I'm like, oh wow, that you might as well just look like fucking
In all
Jesus.
fairness, at least we can say this one's wearing a mask.
Um, honestly, I'm just impressed. Like, man, that's the closest, and they might as well be like the like if rich people were cosplaying as superheroes, I'd at least give them some credit. You know, like at least it would be like, yo, we're just gonna have some fun nerdy shit. These guys look like so overly designed or under designed, depending. It's there's no good balance. None of these clothes look really classy. Like, look at that. It's like, oh, I'm gonna be wearing a black costume, and then there's this dress, and then I'm gonna have this thing flow behind me.
You know what's so
Oh,
funny
look at me.
is that I worked in backstage theater at one point, and
Hmm.
this would be the kind of outfit that you would wear when you're backstage, just so that you would blend into the darkness and the audience wouldn't be able to see you while you're moving shit around. I mean, granted, you wouldn't have that flowing cape behind you, but other than that, it's like it's almost exact.
Yeah,
In fact, there are even like what is like various theater performances where they had people wearing stuff like that to like invisibly move stuff around. It's like you would see like in them in Japanese performances. But yeah, you would be wearing all black and you just be moving stuff around
oh,
and like setting stuff up on the stage where no one can see you. Yeah, I had fun during those days. It's like great, I get to be a ninja. But yeah, and here's my personal favorite. Barney the purple dinosaur without his mask on.
you know, that's actually. Oh dear lord, is that
That's Whoopi Goldberg. That was the dress she chose. You got to keep in
Oprah?
mind, it's like
Man,
these people.
man, I didn't know Whoopi Goldberg wanted to throw back to Theodore Rex so much.
It's like you got to remember, these people specifically had these dresses designed for them.
Oh dear lord, Whoopi Goldberg looks like a fucking balloon.
It's a purple people eater. That's what it is.
And Whoopi Goldberg was like, I'm gonna channel my spirit animal today. And she just said it's the grimace.
Yeah, it's uh at the very least, it's like the gala gives us hilarious imagery. Because it's like, oh my god, who makes up these things? These expensive, impractical dresses. And I'm not even gonna go into the political activist hypocrisy there, because, well, we all know nobody cares about
Look,
hypocrisy anymore.
look, my whole thing with the hypocrisy of the entire event is if I was going to an event that would cost me $30,000 to go to, I would not put something that says eat the rich. And that's it. Look, I would go basically in the most subtle thing possible, give some interviews, and be like, yeah, I'm here just to kind of see it, like, see how the other lives, and, be subtle about it, be
Yeah,
kind of cool.
and as for
Like,
me, I would just be classy.
either
I,
that
I
or I
would
buy
just
my.
I would just wear a suit, a tie, a hat, a trench coat, and a scarf.
Either that, or I'd buy my family some houses and then be like, "Yo, I'm not a guy who look. I just bought my family $1 million houses, and I didn't spend a lot, and I wanted to do that because my family needs it,
Yeah.
and not make a big deal about it, and not pretend that I'm some socialist activist who, again, there's a lot of hypocrisy in these types of things, and you gotta be careful with that. It's like, look, at least fucking own it.
Exactly. But you know who didn't go to the gala? Nicki
Uh,
Minaj.
yes, because her husband is a confirmed sex offender.
Apparently so. Although
Uh,
that's not the only thing. It's like,
well, let
wow.
me actually talk about this a bit.
All right.
So, a lot of people are theorizing the reason why Nicki Minaj is doing this is to fucking distract from it.
Well, well, yeah, that is a possibility. Although it's like, didn't she say that she didn't go to the gala because of her kid?
Probably. No, 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 no.
Although some people are
Why?
like speculating that she didn't go to the gala because she didn't want to take the vaccine. It's like, no, I think she said she didn't want to go because it's like she didn't want to take her kid on a plane.
No, the whole vaccine stuff. A lot of people are thinking that a lot of the reason why she's been crazy acting out in the media recently is to just distract from her father. Because let me put it this way. Sorry, her husband. Um, Let me put it this way. By doing this, she basically takes off any negative attention that she could get from that because what he did, like this vaccine stuff,
Yeah, it's a
by
clever way to
comparison,
draw people's attention away from that. I'll give her that if that's the case.
yeah, a lot of people are actually figuring that, and I kind of maybe have to agree with that because there is kind of like this whole grifter doesn't believe in the thing they're talking about ness to it.
Yeah, because I was gonna say it's like as much as everyone wants to say it's like well it's like she's based on the whole like vaccine views and everything like that. I'm just thinking it's like I wouldn't be too hasty. I mean this is Nicki Minaj we're talking about here, guys. I suspect that she's either gonna walk back on her statements or there's something else going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, like I honestly don't expect it to last that long, you know? I honestly feel like this is just a smokescreen for bigger issues in her life that are just like but I don't really care that much about Nicki Minaj because this is just stupid, 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 stupid,
I
stupid
I will
celebrity bull.
Yeah, I will say that well from the media I am seeing some I'm starting to see some tricks that were pulled before, like the whole like thing where it's like they were threatening to what reveal like some doxing information about one of our relatives. I'm like, wait a minute, isn't that what CNN tried to do with that one kid with the CNN meme, CNN wrestling meme? I mean, it's a level of deja vu here. So
Yeah,
it's pretty much. I mean, yeah, it is. It may very well be a smoke screen, but at the time, it's now effectively Nicki Minaj versus the mainstream media.
oh yeah.
And
I
I'm
mean,
like, you know what? Whoever wins this or whoever loses ain't really on our side, anyways.
yeah,
And yeah, there's been alternate theories. I mean, she's been talking about it's like how it's like her like relatives' testicles became swollen after taking the vaccine. Which, okay, it was just swollen after the vaccine. Doesn't mean the vaccine caused it. It could just be a coincidence. And I think the media is already trying to like turn it into maybe he just had like an STD or something.
maybe Nicki Minaj is the STD in all of us.
Oh God, I hope she wasn't spreading that to her. It wasn't doing that.
Look, I'm just saying, we don't know. Like,
Not to mention,
for all we know,
what kind of STD makes your balls swollen?
um, uh, honestly, there could be a lot of different reasons for why that happened, but who knows?
Yeah. So
Uh,
I suspect that it might have been just a coincidence.
I Either
I mean,
that or he just is like,
and when it comes to the whole,
what bulls are swollen.
and then all of a sudden he starts doing crank calls for
Either that
for
or
crank
he
yankers.
became either that or God just was like, fuck you, you're not allowed to breed. I don't know. Sometimes you're just that type of person.
You're
Uh
just that unlucky.
yeah.
So yeah, this has already turned into a big thing, and some people have even tried to turn it into a race issue. I'm just like, for fuck's sakes, guys, it's just Twitter banter. Granted, it's Twitter banter with somebody who has like thousands upon thousands of followers.
Uh-huh.
But then again, that happens all the time. I remember the old internet blood sports days.
Yeah. Good times, and by good times I mean oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god.
I'm hearing things about celebs I didn't even want to know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. It's true.
So yeah, that's just the and and I think it's made such a big deal about it because it's like they keep referring to her as an influencer. And that's a term that I've grown to dislike because influencer implies it's like when you're famous, your only job is to control the minds of the public. When it's like in reality, it's like in a perfect world, it's like the public should be smart enough to think for themselves, not follow some face on a television.
What if I want to follow it based on television? You don't know, man. I joke, but like, yeah.
I mean, mm, if you're so worried about influencers giving like wrong information to people, maybe you should, teach people to start thinking for themselves. But then again, if you did that, they'd be harder to control.
Yeah.
And that's the issue we're dealing with. We're dealing with people who just want full on control. But yeah, to me, this almost seems like it's like a battle between like the media. It's like if the news went after PewDiePie, which they did.
Yeah, they tried.
So I don't think she's gonna get too much backlash. Or I mean, well, she's getting backlash from like the mainstream press, but I don't think this is gonna like screw her career over or anything. I'm just sitting there going like, yeah, good luck canceling this. And yeah, and if her husband is getting a Me Too style allegation, I have to wonder. It's like, didn't the governor of California get a Me Too allegation as well? I'm trying to remember if that was what started the whole recall thing. Do you know?
Not the what we started the whole recall thing.
For like uh who was the governor of California? Is it Cuomo or Newsom?
I know the guy you're talking. My head.
Yeah, was there a Me Too allegation for that guy?
Not sure, honestly. I would have to look it up. You know,
I mean, I think he was inappropriate around women. And if it
there's
was
a
a
possibility,
and if it was a Me Too
but
allegation, it's like it wouldn't surprise me. But I'm like, yeah, I think there was because there was like that whole because Rose McGowan was against him for some reason, or at least it's like his wife was trying to suppress Rose McGowan in some way. So it's like I'm
oh
just thinking it's
god,
like when Hollywood reelects that guy, or when California reelects that guy, it's like do they really care about Me Too allegations anymore?
Who knows? Only the shadow knows.
In fact, I think there was like a couple of governors that have had Me Too allegations that are that still kept their jobs. Because I'm trying to wonder if the New York one. Yeah. Oh, he broke his own COVID rules. Oh, so that was what the recall allegations was for. Well, there were still other governors that kind of had like Me Too allegations. I know the Virginia governor had one, or his what is it, co-governor? Dang, what was the title called? It was like sub co-governor or something. Because the governor himself, I mean, Governor Northam, he just had the whole blackface thing. But I think it's like the guy just beneath him that would have replaced him if he got recalled had a Me Too allegation.
Yeah, like there's a lot of people who got Me Too allegations in recent years with everything going on. But mainly, the last time I thought more was when they tried to do a thing with Marvel and they got protested out of it.
Yeah, I mean, there's another epidemic that was spreading around. I remember I was just talking to a lady friend of mine about like how she was lamenting about the fact that it's like now in Texas, it's like people are able to like rat out women who are trying to get abortions over that whole heartbeat bill. It's like so it's a culture of like ratting people out. And like we've kind of lived in that culture for quite a while now already. What do you think cancel culture was? It's like people are combing over information about you in order to turn you into the masses or it's like expose you or something like that. We that mentality has been bred into our society for quite a while now and we are seeing the results of it.
We're just living in hell now. It's pretty nice. You should come down. We have Sundays.
Oh man.
But alas, we probably should wrap up now.
Yeah,
It's a good talking to you guys.
I'm sure Norm would have wanted it that way. But you know what he really would have wanted? A
OJ Simpson
pulse.
in jail for killing his wife.
I was gonna say a pulse, but but yeah. But so far, that's been the insanity, and all I could say for now is that this has been the Exalted Scarfcast, and don't get captured, guys. Oh yeah, and
Yep.
for the whole vaccine thing, just check with your doctor and see
Hmm.
if it's right for you.
Yep. Have a good
Do
one,
what you feel
people.
is nice, unless he prescribes you ivermectin, apparently.